very early goings, but I know you have some initial data around what campaigns are actually looking like when they're run through SK Ad Network. We are starting to get some data around what it looks like to run UA campaigns, app install campaigns, when people are starting to opt out of IDFA. So what is the early data telling us right now?
Yeah, I mean, I want to maybe focus this conversation on the UA side, right? That is the most maybe exciting or the big ticket area where a lot of changes are happening. There's obviously the branding style campaigns, there's the retargeting campaigns, whole lot of stuff happening on that front too. But obviously, Mobi DSP's focus and some of what we're working on right now, is on the UA side. It's interesting. So first things first is it's not catastrophe, right? That is a very important maybe hard ground to stand on for the entire industry. There was really no clarity on how SKAd network will perform relative to the mobile, measurement partners in terms of attribution, tracking, analytics, and just overall campaign management and reporting. While there are tons of gaps, and SKAd network is definitely a product still in development and improvement. What is important is that the core metrics and the two core metrics, in my opinion, that really define the performance, the campaign, and the health of a performance campaign, the IPM, which is the installs per mil, right? Installs driven per every 1,000 impressions, and the second one is CTI, which is the click to install rate. Users who clicked, how many of them ultimately ended up installing the app. A comparison of those two metrics between the MMP world and the SKAd network is kind of enlightening. It at least tells you the hygiene metrics, right, and how they're landing up. The good news is, for the most part, SKAd network and MMP numbers kind of line up with each other. On the CTI front, the click to install front, we're seeing numbers about the same. Not a lot of drop off. In fact, I think SKAd network forces a behavior where the SK store, which is an inline browser type unit that resembles the App Store, that opens up. It actually reduces a little bit of friction from the user experience, because that was not always the only default method available. And so I do feel that all of that plays into a relatively equal number to the MMP world. Users don't drop off after the click, and that is not something we expected, but it's at least good to validate the number on that front. On the IPM front, which is the installs per 1,000 impressions, we've looked at data from at least 40 to 50 different advertisers, each of whom have run anywhere between a few hundred to a few thousand installs. And it varies quite a bit. We've seen some advertisers more in the range of 0.3, 0.4x compared to the MMP, which is not great news because it's more expensive to do the same thing now. But there's some advertisers that are, much higher on the same axis, 1.5, 1.6x compared to the MMP. And so a spectrum is emerging, which is, which is a little more maybe a flatter curve than what I had expected originally. And I think that's very interesting. Two things though, most SKAd network campaigns are not fully optimized, which basically means all of these numbers are going to improve from here on, right? The bidder, the algorithms, and the machine learning, all of which was tuned to an IDFA first world, there's still a lot of learning, a lot of evolution pending on the SKAd network side. And so as that kicks in, you will see the performance metrics improve quite a bit on that side too. So that's what initial metrics look like, right? Over 40, 50 campaigns that we reviewed the data on. There's the metrics look healthy. There's not a ton to worry about off the bat, and that is good news. That is part one. Part two is the supply side. Like, how many users are even consenting to be tracked? Initial data suggests that on the more non-gaming utility news kind of applications, we're actually seeing pretty healthy sign-up rate, right? Pretty healthy consent rate. Like users, 30, 40% users seem to be consenting to be tracked. Now, this is without any substantial effort from developers to drive a certain behavior. I saw it on a couple of apps earlier today, and there were just a prompt showing up without any messaging from the publisher saying, look, here's why we need the prompt, and here's why it's important for our business, and here's why it's important to your experience as a user. So there's obviously a lot of A/B testing that has happened at an ecosystem level, but that's not something I've noticed on every single, even every single major application. And so, as publisher behavior, as publishers improve how they surface the prompt to the users and user behavior kicks in, we expect very good numbers, consenting to be tracked, especially on the non-gaming and utility and news application side of things. That may not be true in hyper-casual gaming, especially, and it may not be true for a variety of different types of gaming. But we'll have to wait and watch. I mean, it's still early days. Most publishers haven't even put in a prompt yet because there's a reason to wait and watch, and so there's a lot to learn on that front. So yeah, it's early days, but the two data points are very clear. One, SKAd network for UA, stable. It works. Life goes on. There's a lot to learn, a lot to improve, but it's good. Number two, publisher consent side of things, initial signals are decent and slightly better than expected. But then again, there's a pretty big unknown with respect to gaming, especially hyper-casual gaming.
Yeah, it's still early, but very curious to see how things will stack up, especially because gaming is such a big part of the ecosystem in the mobile app world.